Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Scrabble Q by Palfly Kampling. So we have 0 to 5 Sudoku rules. So instead of 1 to 6, we're putting 0 to 5. So in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 0 through 5 exactly once each. We also have these regionometers in the grid. So it's kind of like a thermometer region sum line hybrid, if that makes any sense to you. So the way this works is we're segmenting the line based on when it crosses a region border. So every time it crosses a region border, like through here, through here, through here, these two, we're segmenting. So this is a segment of length 1, this is a segment of length 2, segment of length 2, segment of length 3, length 2, and length 2. Now, the sum of each segment, starting at the bulb end, starting at the circle, the sum of each segment must strictly increase. So let's say this was a 2. These must sum to bigger than 2, maybe 1, 3, maybe they sum to 4. And then these two must sum to bigger than 4. Maybe we're doing, I don't know, 2, 5. That would sum to 7. That is bigger than 4, right? And we just keep going. We could do 2, 3, I guess we could do 3, 2, 4. This sums to 9. So 9 sums bigger than 7. What I can't do is do like 1, 2, 4 here. That sums to 7. That would be the same as the 2, 5. That's not a strict increase. Definitely can't do 1, 2, 3. Ignore the red. That would sum to 6. And 6 would be smaller than 7. So our sums just get bigger as we move across into new regions. All right, and we also have killer cages in the grid. The cages are just the dotted lines around cells. So cells get caged, and cells within a cage sum to the value in the top left. So these two sum to 5. These all sum to 5. That sums to 6. Do remember we're using 0 instead of 6. All right. And that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself. And I'm going to get started right now. All right, we know this bulb is at least 2, but that doesn't really help us because this... Oh, I guess, we do have 0. So like if we did like... The minimum sum here is actually 1 in a void because we can use zeros. Five cages are interesting because we can do 0, 5 now. But this doesn't have 0 or 1 in it. So I think this has to be 2, 3 regardless. Our options are 0, 5, 1, 4, and 2, 3 to sum to 5. So 5 is kind of the equivalent of 7 in like a 2-cell 7 cage if you're doing 1 to 6. You can think about that as actually exactly equivalent because if we were to do 1 to 6 instead of 0 to 5, then each of these two cells would have 1 added to it, which would make the sum 7. So anyway, little tip for you if you want to think about, if you're doing a 0 through n instead of a 1 through n puzzle, the size, if you add the number of cells in the cage to the sum of the cage, you can think of it more naturally as the 1 to n version. All right, anyway, this is a 4-5 pair. So we do need to use a 0 and a 1 up here just by the roping concept. And then the other is a 4-5. So 0, 1, 4, 5. So 4, 5 is the biggest that we could put here. And then we wouldn't have, it's like 9 is the biggest sum for a 2-cell, 2 cells that can't repeat. And so if I put, my point is if I put 4, 5 here, well, I guess we never put 4, 5 there. That's not even an option, but we can't put 4, 5 there because it was sum to 9 and we wouldn't have anything for this. But we already know one of these is 0 or 1. Now, if we put 0, 1 here, that's also a problem, right? That's the smallest this could be, and then we wouldn't have a value here because we can't put a 0 here. It's already in the box. So this is the other 0, 1 that isn't on this 0, 1, 4, 5. And this is the other 4, 5 that's not on this 0, 1, 4, 5. So this is minimum 4. It's maximum 6. So that doesn't really tell us much. This can still be any digit. Okay. Do we think about more of these 5 cages? I mean, the thing is, the 5 cages are like 7 cages, right? A normal 7 cage. So they can have any digit in them naturally. The 6 cage is a little bit more restricted because we can't do 0, 6. So we could do 1, 5, or we could do 2, 4. So it's basically the same, 1, 5 or 2, 4. Can't do 3, 3, obviously. Now, if this was a 5, that would be a problem because this one needs to be bigger. So that's not a 5, making that not a 1. 4 would force this to be 5. Which actually doesn't work. Watch what happens. If this is 4 and this is 5, this has no value. So we can't put both 4 and 5 on here. So this is not a 4. Meaning this is not a 2. All right. So this is 1 or 2. it just means that, I don't know, it doesn't mean anything for this cell right now. I need a 4-5 up here. It could go here. Easily go there. We need 2 2-3s. I mean, small. This is happy with being small. This is okay with it. I got to think about more of this then. It's got to be this regionometer here. Maybe we can work backwards a little bit. Okay, so let's work backwards from here. The biggest this can be is a 4-5 pair, which is 9. And I do think at the moment 4-5 is possible here. So this maxes out at 9, which means this is max 8, which means this is max 7. But remember, we have 0, so that's not really a big problem. Which means this is max 6, which means this is max 5, which means this is max 4. Okay, so this is 2, 3, or 4. Max 5, max 6. I have another interesting thing, which is this does not add to 5. Think about it this way. Whatever this digit is, say we add to 5 doing 2, 3, just as an example. How are we adding to 5 here now? Well, we'd have to use this exact same digit here, no matter how we add to 5. If I do 4, 1, in order to add to 5, I have to use this digit here. So we'd be repeating this digit if this added to 5. So it's maximum 6, but it's also not 5. Minimum, this isn't 0, 1, remember. So our minimum is actually adding to 4 here. So our minimum is 4 here, meaning our minimum here is 5, but we can't be 5, so we do add to 6. This adds to 6. And so then this adds to 4 or 5, which we can't do anything with. So 4, 5, this does add to 6. And remember, this was max 7, so we're 9, 8, 7. So these are exactly what we're adding to. Now I have to be careful with 7, because normally I'd say, oh, 1, 2, 4 is 7, but we can use zeros. These two add to 8, these two add to 9. So this does have to be a 4 or 5 pair. That's the biggest thing we got out of this. This 4 or 5 pair takes 4 or 5 out of here, which takes 1, 2 out of here. That means this is 0 or 1. And this here is the other 0, 1 to add to 5. And so these two are the 2, 3. So it's the 3 ways to add to 5. This way to add to 5, this way to add to 5, and this way to add to 5. This is a 2, 3 pair in the column, so these are from 0, 1, 4, 5. I'm not above penciling that at this point. So this could be a 0, 5 or 1, 4. The point is it's not a 2, 3 to add to 5. Okay, I have to think about the 7 and the 8 maybe. Do I have anything else I can do first? Yeah, we have a 1, 2 pair here, a 4, 5 pair here. So this is 3, this is 0, 3. And the 0 tells us the order. That's 3 and that's 0. Perfect, there is more to do. So this is 1, 4 to add to 5. This is 0, 0, 5 to add to 5. This is 4, 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. That's a 2. All right. This is our 4, 5, meaning this is our 0, 1. Oh, and that's 5 and that's 4. So this could be either way. Okay, the sum doesn't care. That's 4. This is 2 and 3. We get the 2 and 3 here. We get the 5, 0 to add to 5. Okay, we get the 1 and the 4 in this column. We get the 0. So this is 5. This is 6. Okay. So this just can resolve anyway. This just is bigger than 1, which really isn't a problem. This can't be 2, 3 though, so that's 5. I think this is here to make it a Q, to be honest. Maybe it was used, I'm not sure. So we got stalled a little bit, but we can still keep going. This is a 2 for the column. This is a pair, a 1, 3 pair. So we know this adds to 7, so it actually is 1, 2, 4. 2 plus 4 is 6, so that's P1. The 0 got used by the 5 cage. So this is 0, 1, 5. So the 0, 5 go here. This is the 1. And so that's 5 and 0. And then this is 2, 3, 4. So this has to be the 4, because the 2 it finishes the column. This is a 2, 3 pair. And we know this adds to 8. So this is a 3, that's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 2. And we're done. Cool puzzle, Palfly, as usual. Expert setter. That was really interesting. It's always fun to do a 0 to n puzzle for when you involve sums, because the 0 really flips things on its head. But like I said, it does often help to just think about adding 2 to all these cages, because you're used to thinking about like this as 7 and this is 8, and that gives you a better instinct for how many options you should expect, and you just subtract 1 from each option. So like if this was a 7 cage, it would be a 3-4 cage. If this was a 8 cage, it would be a 2-6 cage, right? That sort of thing. Anyway, let me know how you did, and if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.